Hello, my name is Reet, and yes, I am a fashion designer, and I'm also working in Estonian Academy of Arts as a senior researcher. So my work is always partly related to research and partly to straight to the business, because the design research, I think it really very practical, and you have to do the things in the real life, real world, then you can transform the knowledge to some little science as well. So, I promised to talk a little bit about my experience in this weird and really not very nice industry, fashion industry. And to start with that, I thought it would be the best to figure out actually what's wrong with it. And to be really annoying, I just will ask from you, what are you wearing? Do you know where your clothes are coming from?
Mostly from East, I think.
At what brands?
Different.
Name something, otherwise I will go and check myself.
And H&M, mostly, I think.
Do you want to talk about that? Or do you know where they produce?
East, Bangladesh, or China.
Yeah, but really thank you for saying and being honest, because that's actually the the biggest problem, that more or less we start to know already what we are eating, but really we don't care so much, and we don't think about that, how these products, what we are wearing every day or what we are using, product design the same, we really don't care how they are made and where are they coming from. And ironically enough, even the brands don't know that themselves. I think most of the workers, for example, who work for the H&M, the clothes what you're mostly wearing, really doesn't know where the clothes are coming from, who actually has made them and how they are made. For that, to make it very simple, maybe you all know that, then I'm really sorry, and then you have to say me when I'm too boring, then we talk about something else, but just to give you a little understanding how the clothes are made. And then the next step, a little bit, we are talking how we are doing and what we are trying to change there. If we take just t-shirt or jeans, most sold items in the world, usually they are made from the cotton. So just to see a little bit the life cycle of the product, it starts with growing the cotton, which is the consumes a lot of you know the word, yeah, the word. Sorry. No, I'm saying that the land, exactly. We could grow food in that land, but we're growing cotton. And cotton is consuming a lot of water. And that makes it very, very unsustainable. And if you ask from somebody, what is your favorite material, like 99% I get the answer, cotton. And when I'm asked why, then usually, yeah, it's just because it's the most common, it feels good, etc. But now, I have told you, and now you know that cotton is not good. Cotton is actually very, very bad. But we are using it a lot. Of course, we could discuss maybe the oil-based fibers are even worse, but next time. So then the cotton is spinned, the yarn is made, and from the yarn, the fabric is made. And then starts a little bit more interesting part, manufacturing the product. So usually every part is done in different place in the world. It's very common that cotton is grown, for example, in Southern America, then taken from there to China. Then the yarn is made in China and taken to, for example, to Bangladesh. And fabric is made in Bangladesh, and maybe the pair of jeans or t-shirt is actually sewed together in Turkey, for example. So before even we start to make something out of the fabric, it's already, the material has been traveling around the world. And the manufacturing part is actually very interesting, because there we as a designers can really change something in there. We could design the products with minimal environmental impact. If we would like to, we would really make, for example, zero waste products or products made from the sustainable materials. It's everything what's related to that part. This manufacturing is the part where the designer actually can change everything. There is nothing designer can't change. And then, of course, it's a very good question, like, if we know how to do it better, why we are not doing it better? How come the fashion industry is the second biggest polluter in the world after the oil industry? Did you know that? It's the second biggest. Exactly. I actually was really a little bit hoping that you didn't know that. Now after that, after you know it, then you can change your consuming habits. So basically everything what's happening in that massive industry is done the way which is not sustainable. But just let's go till the end and then we are coming back. So the clothes are made, they are packed, they are shipped out from the factories, and then they end up in the shops, retail shops. We buy from there. You know that fast fashion is quite cheap. It's quite easy to find t-shirts with 4 euros, maybe 10 euros pair of jeans. And we don't value them because they are so cheap, but we really, I think there's a very big difference. If you're buying jeans and you're giving out, for example, 300 euros, you would wear them as long as you can because they have completely different value than the products you paid maybe 6 euros. And then the really, really awful part here in the Western world, or where we have money to consume a lot, is the part of where we see this little guy there, when we use the clothes. It has grown so much in the last 10 years that it causes extremely not funny, but in the same time kind of funny problem. This is the textile waste. And why textile waste is so problematic? Do you have any idea why? It's a lot of it, but the biggest problem is that we actually don't know what to do with it. We have no solutions for the textile problems. And that's one type of the waste, what has been really growing and growing and growing. And somehow, even we're living in the time where we basically can do everything what we want to do, as we learned from the previous person here, from Janna. But we are in the situation with growing textile waste mountains, and we really have no idea where to put it and what to do with it. We have been very successfully sending it out to the so-called third countries or to Africa, but they don't want them anymore because they already have them enough. And we are facing the problem that we even can't, for example, when the textile waste is not, it's just textiles, then you can't send it directly to the burning facilities. They have to mix it with the household waste before, so even they don't want to take it. So in Estonia, a lot of places, of course, and the textile waste still goes to the landfill, which is really ridiculous because we have put so much effort, we have put so much energy, water, resources, whatever, into the product. We really often wear it just 2 or 3 times, we throw it away, and then we just landfill it. And the one more thing, maybe you haven't thought about that, but it's extremely expensive to make nothing from something. To make something to disappear is very, very expensive thing to do. So now EU, UN has finally understood the problem, and the next big priority will be the textile and the fashion industry. And the biggest focus will be in our region, textile waste. So a lot of designers, I mean, if you really are struggling what to do with your next years or days, here is the hint: focus to the textile waste. A lot of it's going to be a big market and not so many solutions. I'm wearing a jumper today here, this one. This is made from the post-consumer waste. Denim, mostly. It's cotton. We started the product development 3 years ago. We tested different recyclers here in Europe. We ended up with one partner in Italy, the one I'm using right now, but this is, I think there is 20% of, was it 25% of production leftovers as well. So we found one producer who actually promised to do the yarn from 100% post-consumer waste, 100% used jeans. Really nice. But it was out of Europe. Okay, we sent the stuff there. We got the yarn. We found even the company who was able to make the product, to do the knitting for us. Not in Estonia. In Estonia, everybody said that it's too complicated. We found one factory from Lithuania. They said that, yeah, but the quality is so bad, the yarn quality is so bad that we are not taking any responsibility. If you pay advance and you will take the full responsibility, we will try. I said, okay, let's do it. We are a small company. It was quite expensive thing to try out. After first production period, the lady called to me and said, sorry, we can't actually send you anything because it didn't work out. I said, okay, how much this will cost to us and what will we do next? Okay, it will cost so much, and if you want, we can try again. I was okay, let's try again. We did it again. And next time we were almost 100% successful. We got the products, very beautiful ones, I have to say. But if I now think how complicated it was, how long time it actually took, and how expensive it was, it's completely insane. And I really understand why the other brands don't do that. Because you never can actually know what comes out. So this is the part here in Europe and about the post-consumer waste. But let's go back to the manufacturing. This is my favorite part. I have been working with the industry, I don't know, around 15, maybe a little bit more years. Started here in Estonia with the smaller companies, and now last 7 years we have been working with big factories in India and Bangladesh. And the thing what we do now is that we go into the factory, we certify them, we launched the certification system together with Stockholm Environmental Institute. It's called UpMade. The UpMade system gives the knowledge and understanding for the factory, how they could circle back their own leftovers inside the factory. So it means that we don't have to transport the leftovers from one place to another. No, we just go to the factory, we help them to sort, to make the system work that way, that they can start to work with their own leftovers, produce from their own leftovers. And that's the model what we are using. When the factory is certified, we work the way that they send, every month they send us the leftover report. We choose the products, the fabrics what we would like to use, and we just produce from the leftovers. For the designer, sometimes it might be not so, I would say, inspirational. For example, I haven't chosen the fabric I like last, I don't know, 17 years, because since 2002 I started to work with the leftover materials. It means that I never designed the way that I sit down, draw a beautiful dress, and then go to the fair and try to find the beautiful fabric. Never like this. And I really, really can understand if some designers don't like that way, working, that you start with the leftovers. Because if, a little bit show you, if you go to the Bangladesh, for example, this is one of my colleagues. This is the picture what you see everywhere when you just travel in the production areas. So, for example, in Bangladesh, there is no proper waste management system. So everything ends up like this. Here you can see roll ends, which is the biggest part of the leftovers in the production. It means, just to give you a little understanding, how this kind of really good material ends up being a leftover. Let's say H&M orders 30,000 pair of jeans. And maybe 8,000 rolls of fabric comes into the factory. And the cutting table is 50 meters. So everything from every roll what's less than 50 meters is left over. So it's basically every factory ends up every day with such a big amount of leftovers. And the meters, not just the big, like small pieces. This is the one thing that kind of has been a little secret, well-hidden fact. When we really often when I talk about the leftovers, people think that we are working with the small pieces. Yes, sometimes we do that, but this is actually the smallest problem because the biggest amount of leftovers is really good material on the rolls. And the biggest part of the leftovers in the industry is actually these kind of fabric where, let's say, again, H&M ordered the shirt, but the color was not correct. It was a little bit different. So factory very easily can end up with 80 kilometers of well-made fabric, but color is just not right. And for them, it's the waste, because they are production company. They are not retailers. They don't have the place where to sell the fabric. Of course, they try to sell it in the black market, and they do, etc. But in reality, this is actually waste for them. Here you can see, what do you think about what's on the photo? Just guess. This is overproduction. In the production, there is always 3 to 5% overproduced items, just to avoid rejections. So, because it has to be very fast, and if there is even, let's say, 2 items not correct, then it might be that the brand doesn't accept the order, and the factory ends up with 30,000 jeans, brand new, but they made 2 less, and then the order will be cancelled. That's the reason why they always produce more, 3 to 5%. And I think this is the most, I think that's the stupidest type of waste, because they are completely good products. First time when I went to this very, very big factory in Bangladesh, and I walked into their waste house. There were like huge piles of overproduction produced items. I just climbed up and took one product out from the bag, and it was really nice quality Calvin Klein shirt, men's shirt. But the funny part is that here it costs like 200 euros or something like this, to 250, something like this in the Viru Keskus. But in Bangladesh, in that place there, it's the waste, because they have no place where to sell it, and they are just packed and trying to hide it somewhere, to put it somewhere. And that's kind of weird to think that, okay, and that has been my question many, many times, if brands know that the producer actually producing to like 3 to 5% more, why don't they have any flexibility than just to take in more items? Just, it's not so much, but no, there is no flexibility at all. It has to be fast, it has to be precise, and it has to be, yeah, in time. That's the very important part of it. Yeah, more items like this. Some years ago, 4 years ago, we made one project for Estonian Sing and Dance Festival. And it was very big order. It was 23,000 or 24,000 t-shirts. And then we didn't use the roll ends. We used the cancelled order, because it actually happened that way that the guy from the factory called me one morning and said that, okay, Reet, now it's like we have 70,000, one American brand, their t-shirts, polo shirts, and really I have no idea where to put them. I don't know. But they canceled the order because they were 2 days late. So 2 days late means for the factory 70,000 items left over. And then I tried to sell the idea to the singing and dancing festival. They got it, and we produced the t-shirts out of that. And when we finally calculated all the environmental impact compared to the products made from the virgin material, then the one number really surprised me, and that was how much we saved water. And it was 82 million liters of water. And it was really painful thing to do. It was like they were struggling a lot. Our person was 1 month there in the factory trying to finish it in time, etc., etc. But when I saw the numbers later on after the calculations, and then I completely kind of understood that that was the right thing to do. So that's the overproduction. Here is one young girl sorting the textile leftovers in Bangladesh. Here you can see how they pack the overproduction. They pack them to these kind of textile bags, and also all the cutting leftovers and everything like this. They have the big yard, and I would say in every 10 minutes one this kind of truck goes out from the factory. Around 5 years ago, we were making one documentary, and we were visiting the same factory, and we tried to follow a few of the tracks. So we kind of followed. We found out that there is like black market, but we didn't get in there. They said it's very, very dangerous and somebody will kill us, so we didn't risk with our lives. But basically, a lot of that goes to the black market. And then I understood that a lot of these items, what we are actually buying here without the logos, etc., or what we have been actually thinking they might be the fake products, they are not fake products, they are originals. So they are coming from the leftover departments, sold very, very cheap. And then it's really often, it somehow circulates back to the West, where we are buying actually them, which is nice. At least there is some kind of hope for some products, not of course to the every. Here you can see I told a little bit about the song and dance festival. This is the production that was done in the big line. And the big line is really big. So, but this is actually the most important part I wanted to talk about. That we have our own upcycling lines in many factories. And it's so sweet how they have made the sign for us as well. And what we do there, this is our brand, it's called Reet Aus. Somehow happened that 5 years ago we made one t-shirt. And it really, the t-shirt happened that way that we had the leftovers like 30 centimeters. And the design had to be the way that every T-tail can't be more than 30 centimeters. And we ended up with a t-shirt with actually very, very high production cost. And I was really thinking that, okay, it doesn't make any sense to produce the t-shirts with 45 euros. And that's not even actually the fair price for the t-shirt. But I thought, okay, well, anyway, we had a collection ready, and let's try. We anyway have tried so many things just to see. And that has been, I think, for me, in all my career as a businesswoman, the most surprising moment when I understood, actually, it really doesn't matter how expensive is the product. We can't produce them as much as people would like to buy them. but we have a little limit sometimes. And the thing is that every order what we place is different colors. So, and my favorite clients are the clients who are coming to the shop saying, okay, I have the blue one and I have the yellow one. I would like something with the green. Do you have something with the green? So I understood, I'm doing exactly the same. I don't wear any other t-shirts anymore. You can see. Look, even here I have the up shirt. We call it up shirt. Because the cut is good, the quality is good, and it's always different. Of course, the arrow is quite strong. If you don't like the arrow, then we have plain ones as well. Then we started with when we started with the recycling, and then the next design what we did was about the circularity. Just to, our handwriting is because we always cut and sew, or how you say it. We always put products together from the pieces. So it's quite easy to actually recognize the products. This is the plain one who doesn't want to wear the arrow. They will have white and black for you. There's actually diamond on the center. What we do, we put a lot of effort to the quality. As you can see, even our jeans have some cuts. All these kind of small details, because the products are quite simple. The biggest factory we're working with is mostly producing jeans and t-shirts. That's why we have been focusing to the jeans and t-shirts, because that's the material what we get. We don't have like beautiful dresses just because we don't have the company who would work with a material like this. This is also very interesting for the designer, because years ago I was making very feminine design because I kind of like that. But because of the upcycling and because of the situation where I am in most of the time, I kind of had to change my design handwriting completely, which is okay, because that's the design what we are doing is, I can't say it's the first is to solve the problem in the fashion industry, but I would say this is one of the biggest in all of that process. This is one product also. It's recycled cotton, and here is just a photo for the end for you, and I'm done with my time completely in the good way, and I finish now.